Well, good afternoon, Central Georgia. It is actually it's an all right day. It was partly cloudy in the morning, but we're supposed to get some more sunshine later this afternoon. But as of an hour and 30 minutes ago, we received the newest update from the SPC, and we have some new outlooks and some changes. So I'll show you how that impacts our forecast and what the new changes are going to be. Now, I just want to start off by showing the weather impact alert. I'm going to make this full screen right here. And as of right now, we don't have any changes to the timing. So this is going to be for Saturday night into the majority of Sunday morning. The impacts, we're expecting a line of severe thunderstorms. So anytime you have a severe thunderstorm, you'll have gusty winds of up to 60 miles per hour. I think in this case, I could see locally heavy winds at around 70 miles per hour. And we could also see some other impacts such as hail and tornadoes. So I'll have more details about that. But as of right now, the need to stay weather aware and to have a way to receive possible alerts. This is once again another overnight situation. Over the past couple of months, we've received multiple storms around the same time in the early morning, and this is going to be the same. So if you have a tornado warning in your area, we need you to have a way to receive alerts through your phone or through a weather radio. So right now I'm going to show you the first storm outlook. So this is the day one storm outlook. This covers the rest of today and for tomorrow early morning. We have a level 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather for the Midwest. So portions of Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Tennessee, the upper tip of Mississippi, and portions of Indiana. Now, we're not seeing anything right now. The storms are forecasted to occur later tonight and into tomorrow early morning. Level 3 is for the surrounding areas, so the majority of Mississippi, portions of Arkansas, and portions of Missouri, portions of Iowa, portions of Illinois, and portions of Indiana. But the good news is nothing for Central Georgia. But that's a little different for our day 2 storm outlook. So for tomorrow, this covers most of Central Georgia. So a level 3 out of 5 risk is in place for the majority of Central Georgia. We saw this happen yesterday. The only difference is it was extended a little bit towards the east. So portions of Lawrence County, portions of Washington County, the majority of Hancock County, and the majority of Dodge County are now within a level 3. We still have a level 2 in place for the majority of the eastern and southeastern counties. Now, the major changes that we saw from the SPC is that the level 4 out of 5 risk that was mainly for Alabama has now been extended a little bit to the east and into the far western portions of Georgia, and it actually grazes the far western point of Upson County. And then, of course, the main headline is a rare level 5 out of 5 risk for portions of Mississippi and Alabama. So the main story overall to take from this day 2 storm outlook is that the majority of the impacts and the risks from the system will be in Mississippi and Alabama. However, the good news for us, and even with the extension of the level 3 and the minor extension of the level 4, is that the SPC still has the storm weakening as it continuously moves into Central Georgia. That's why they continue to keep the level 2 for the most southeastern counties. So the trend here is that it's going to come in hot, but once it crosses I-75, it's going to lose steam, it will lose instability and some of the ingredients that made it strong in the first place, and it should gradually weaken. That's not to say that if you're within a level 2 that it's going to be nothing. I still think the winds are going to be high, but I'm just saying it won't be as strong as what it was as it entered into the Alabama and Georgia border. So I'm going to go into the future view to show off the timing. So for the rest of the day, we should have some more sunshine, and for tonight as well, it's going to be mostly clear. Some sprinkles for Atlanta. Tomorrow is actually going to be a beautiful day for the most part. Mostly sunny skies throughout the afternoon. And then once we get into the later portions of the afternoon and early portions of the evening, there you can see the storms firing up in Mississippi and Alabama. I'd say around this time is when they will have most of their impacts. You can see that it's very clustered, it's very disorganized, and it's moving through Birmingham and Huntsville by 8 to 9 o'clock in the evening hours. But once we get into 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, that's when it arrives for the most northwestern point of Georgia, and it will near Atlanta by midnight. Then for us, for central Georgia, by 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, then it would creep into our most northwestern counties. So counties such as Lamar, Monroe County, Jasper County, and Upson County. By 3 to 4 in the morning, it will arrive into Macon. And then by 5 in the morning, gradually moving more towards the east, so into the counties such as Wilkinson County, Washington County, Hancock County, and Lawrence County. By 6, 7 in the morning, it should be gone from Macon, and then it will be out of our neck of the woods by 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning. So this is going to be late in the morning is when we should be all clear from severe weather. But one thing that we've noticed from the timing of these storms is that it's relatively a slow moving storm. It's not like the storms that we've seen in the past couple of months where they completely move out of central Georgia in, say, a period of 2 to 4 hours. This is going to last for the majority of the morning. So that's one thing to note. And then we also have another characteristic from the storms. So I'm going to show you this by the tornado parameter graphic. Most of the tornado energy and ingredients are going to be later in the night, and it's going to be into Alabama. But then early morning, the tornado risk is relatively high for our most western counties. So places such as Upson, Taylor County, anywhere just west of I-75. But then right after 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning, it significantly weakens. The chances drops, and that's correlates to what the SPC has shown throughout their outlooks, is that as they move through central Georgia, they'll gradually weaken. But the reason why the tornado chances were high in the first place for the most western counties is because instead of the storms being in just a straight line, they're more into discrete cells. And we call those cells supercells. And we typically don't see them early this year. But these supercells are a little different than the type of stuff that we see usually in the springtime. Tornadoes in the springtime are weak. They're typically short-lived. They touch down. They cause some damage for a couple of minutes, and then they immediately go back up into the sky. These supercells, they could be more long-lasting, and they could be stronger in nature. But once again, the good thing is, as they move through central Georgia, so across I-75, those chances decrease. Now I'm going to show you the humidity, just to show you some of the ingredients of why we're going to see storms in the first place for Saturday and for early Sunday. The humidity will increase by the afternoon. And notice the winds, the wind arrows, they're going up and they're looking stronger in nature. And you can see some muggy, some dark green, just south of Alabama into the Florida Panhandle. That's what we call the low-level jet. So the low-level jet is a stream of strong surface winds moving from the Gulf, and that's providing moisture, and that's providing the warm air needed for storms to fire up. Now, storms, they need warm air and they need moisture, and typically after sunset, you cut them off from sunlight and from daytime heating, and they should weaken. But a strong low-level jet provides the necessary fuel for these storms to continue and to continue moving into our area. So that's why these storms are a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Now, in terms of the rainfall, this is kind of our least of our worries. So right now, the future view rainfall shows less than ½ an inch. I completely disagree with this model. I've seen other models show an inch, and I've seen other models actually show 2 inches. So there's some disagreement on the rainfall totals, but all in all, I'd say expect 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. I'd say locally higher amounts for Atlanta and for far north Georgia, but our flooding risk is going to be minor. This is probably the last of our worries, even with how high the river stage was for the past couple of months for the Oconee, the Flint, and for the Ocmulgee rivers. So here are the headlines for these upcoming storms for this upcoming weekend. Storms will come in hot. So we have that level 5 and that level 4 for Alabama and Mississippi. They will be strong. They'll be really, really really powerful in nature for those areas. But then once they cross the Alabama and Georgia border, it will begin to lose fuel and it will begin to lose steam. So it will gradually weaken. That's why we had a level 3 for the majority of central Georgia, while far west Georgia has a level 4. It's just saying that you're taking away the fuel supply and they will gradually weaken. That's not to say that they won't be strong. They will be strong, but it won't be as strong as what Alabama, Mississippi experiences. So gradually weaken as it moves through our area, as it continues to move east. And by, say, 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, it will be completely gone from our area. So the potential risks that we could see is any risk from severe weather. It's on the table. So damaging winds, that's always a guarantee. Winds of up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, especially as we're expecting a widespread line of severe thunderstorms. And one of the conditions needed for a severe thunderstorm to happen is winds over 60 miles per hour. So that's a guarantee. So it'll be very important to secure loose items, especially if you have them in your porch or your backyard. That's going to be very important. Hail, widespread hail could be possible as well. And then heavy rain, of course, heavy downpours throughout the line. That's going to be a guarantee as well. I just mentioned the flooding risk, not that big of a concern. But the tornado chances will be stronger more towards our west. So places such as Upson County, Taylor County, anywhere west of I-75 where some of the fuel from Alabama and Mississippi are still there, the tornado chances are increased. But as they move across I-75, it loses its steam, it loses its fuel, and that's when the tornado chances become significantly lower, which is a good sign, and we're hoping that the trend that we're seeing through the models continue. Now, what do I need you to do? I need you to have a way to receive alerts, especially from it being an overnight situation. So this is going to be mainly before sunrise, and if people will be asleep. So I'm going to need you to have a notification system on your phone. Also, counties are offering a notification system. You can opt in through text as well, and through a weather radio. And then another thing is having a severe weather preparedness plan. So if you have a severe weather preparedness plan, if you just talk to your family or if you talk to your friends and other significant others, and just highlight a place in your room or in your building, in your house, and you just highlight the most interior place, the lowest level, and away from windows. So once you have a severe thunderstorm warning, or if you have, more importantly, a tornado warning, you can easily act quickly and go into your prepared site. That would be really, really helpful. Now here is a graphic just to show you the potential ways to get severe weather warnings. Once again, wireless emergency alerts, weather radio, and of course we also offer the warnings through our 13WZ mobile app. Now, in terms of the temperatures, there's also one thing that I'm also keeping an eye out. It's been warm for the past couple of days, and we're also expecting temperatures to be in the upper 70s, and it could be into the 80s for Saturday. So that could provide some of the ingredients for these storms to continue, but then it drops throughout the late night into the early morning Sunday. So that could be a good sign as well. But all in all, we're still keeping the messaging. The worst of the storms will be in Mississippi and Alabama, and then it will just lose its steam as it moves into central Georgia. So I'm going to go back into the weather impact list. Once again, gusty winds, that's guaranteed, but we've seen that from the past couple of storms that we've seen in the past year. Hail, you could potentially see an inch of hail or even larger, but not that big of a concern. And then tornadoes, higher for most western counties. But if the trend continues, it will gradually decrease as it moves across I-75 and into the most eastern counties. So I'm going to pull it back into the main graphic, and I'm going to go back full screen just to say my final messages. So Ben Jones, no, he did not just walk in. I thought Ben Jones just walked into the studio. But Ben Jones will have the most latest details for the 5 and the 6 o'clock show. And I just want to say, I know these storms are pretty anxiety-inducing. I know, I can tell you personally, the reason why I got into this business was because I was afraid of tornadoes, and I was afraid of the opportunity or the chances of tornadoes to occur. Now, being a meteorologist, I think it's very important to show that there is ways, there is stuff that we can do to prepare, and there is glimmers of hope for this weekend. So as long as you stay prepared, if you have the ways to receive alerts, I think you will be fine. And Ben Jones and I will be here all throughout the weekend, and the rest of the 13WZ weather team will be here to be the calm throughout this storm. We'll have continued coverage through our 13WZ mobile app, so we'll give you the latest details as these storms move through our area. So with that, I had a pleasure talking to you, and these are the latest details, and we'll also keep you updated and informed on the latest changes. I mentioned Ben's going to have the 5 and the 6 o'clock shows, but he's also going to go live later tonight at 9 o'clock. And we'll also have continued live streams throughout tomorrow before the storms move into our neck of the woods. So with that, thank you very much and have a beautiful day.